Greetings, everyone. Happy Sunday. Today is the day that the sun rules, and the sun is currently at the first degree of Capricorn. We have come through the first day of winter solstice. It is during the winter solstice that we have 3 days of remember when they talked about Jesus being born, and there were like 3 days of complete darkness where there was no light, and that is this time. There is light still, but the sun is in a holding position where it's not where it's not gaining light or losing light for 3 days. And we are in those 3 days now, and those 3 days happen every year, y'all. And have been happening every year for billions of years. And we have just been given stories and narratives about it that are mystical and fantastical. Initially, these stories were to help us celebrate what was happening within us, but then it became this externalized thing, and it became about praising and worshiping someone else, when it really is about the light coming back within yourself. So there are 3 days where the sun is not giving more light or getting less light. And then on the third day, the sun will have 1 extra minute of light. And from that day on, it will gain a minute more of light until we get to the summer solstice, winter equinox, summer solstice, spring equinox, summer solstice. Yes, to the summer solstice. And then we will have the day that is the longest day of light, where we have the most light. And then it will go from that to decreasing 1 minute every day. So this has been happening for billions of years. And light and energy is how this reality works. So when we are aware of these cycles and how they are impacting us, and that we are connected to them, our awareness of them helps us regulate our own systems, our own internal time clock, because we are a part of this greater clock. We also are a part of the clock. You know, it's something that's inside and external. So today, we're still talking about Mercury Retrograde. There's so much going on astrologically, though, so I could be in a big old conversation. But I want to talk about the nodes. They're going to be shifting in the middle of January, and they have been in Libra. The South Node has been in Libra, and the North Node has been in Aries for the last 18 months. Wherever the nodes are is where we have our eclipse, where the eclipses will occur. So we have had eclipses in Libra and Aries for the last 18 months. That means that the area of our life where we are doing relationship, money, the relationship of our life, the relationships that were ruled by all of our Venus experiences, because that's Libra, have been cleaned out. You're not going to need this anymore. You don't need this behavior anymore. You don't need these thought forms anymore. You don't need this way of functioning anymore. So people's relationships have been going through a lot of changes. Many people breaking up and divorcing. Why? Because the South Node is going through Libra, and the eclipses were there. The South Node is what we're letting go of. The North Node is what we're embodying. So the North Node has been in Aries, which is about your own identity, the courage to be yourself, the power to be a warrior for yourself, meaning to fight for your space to express yourself in the way you're meant to express yourself. You know, you might find yourself in friendships or relationships where you're just not in agreement anymore. The agreement just isn't there any longer. Like, it just doesn't feel the same. Why? Because the South Node moved through Libra, and the North Node is moving through Aries. And it's about purifying and clarifying your own individuality. So this is why relationships have undergone such a deep deconstruction, so that we can not be codependent and people pleasing, and so that we can actually find our own yes and your own no. That's independent of anybody else's influence and perspective. What's really true for you? What's going on for you, right? So these nodes have been in Libra and Aries for the last 18 months. We have had eclipses there, and in January they're going to shift to Pisces and Virgo, which means we're going to be having the eclipses in Virgo and Pisces, which is a tremendous thing. So if you think relationships, if your relationships were really transformed with the Aries Libra I can't even think of the name that I'm trying to think of it right now. Portal, let's just call it a portal. With Virgo and Pisces, Virgo is here to help you purify yourself, help you perfect yourself. So Virgo is going to further begin to disrupt things that don't serve you anymore. The Virgo Pisces axis is inviting you into an awareness of your subconscious and your imagination and what is attempting to come through you, through your own consciousness, into the earth realm. Pisces is like the heavenly realm, meaning like the astral plane. Let's say it that way. Pisces is like the astral plane where everything is in the invisible. And everything you are coded to experience in this lifetime was planned out before you got here. And it's in the astral realm. That's where it is. And when you wake up to what your code is, and when you understand that you have a mission and a purpose, then you can have a greater access to the astral realm and bring down out of the invisible into the seen your tools and resources that you need to be who you are meant to be. Whatever that is, whatever, maybe you have something to do in several communities and you need to have lots of money. Well, that money is in the astral realm and all you need to do is access it from inside of yourself. Access it through understanding the code of wealth and abundance within you, and then it makes it available to you. It's like a combination, right? If you are here to have lots of material things or whatever it is, it's all in the astral realm first. And so this nodal shift from Libra to Aries towards Virgo to Pisces, the Libra Aries energy was there to help you let go of things that you have been doing, behaving, thinking, desiring that are not in service to who you're becoming. Your individual Aries North Node says you have to be who you are meant to be, and you have to have courage to be it. So now it's going to shift into Virgo. Virgo is the body. So that means that now we're going to be doing the work to embody something. Like, who are you? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What's the character that you're meant to function as here? And embodying it on a daily basis through practice, new ways of being, thoughts, rituals, to move you into a new way of functioning in this reality. You can see it in your life already. You already know what's happening. The question is, how are you responding to it? I notice that for a lot of people, folks are, this work is invisible. Let me say that. This work is invisible. You could miss it if you're not intentional. And if you could miss it if you're not intentional, and if you're not aware that you're being asked to do something else. So I know, like for me, I was aware that things weren't working anymore. Like I was in relationships and I just couldn't feel connected to people any longer. I just, like, the sound of their voices felt like, nails on a chalkboard. And so I was like, my spirit kicked me out of experiences. The soul of me said, you can't do this anymore. So there are things I had to stop doing. Like, I stopped drinking alcohol. I just can't do it. It's like, this don't feel good in my body. I ate meat. I started eating meat. And once I ate some meat, I hadn't eaten meat in years, and I ate some meat and realized, like, oh fuck, I've been hungry. Like, I didn't even recognize it as that. But the minute I took a bite of steak, I was like, I'm hungry. So things like that, things that change. You were one way and now all of a sudden you're something else, right? And so where is that happening in your life? Now, the reason I'm talking about this nodal shift is because the nodes are shifting. We are still in the final week or so of Mercury Retrograde, and we're in the winter solstice. This is a high, powerful time to intend some changes. This is an incredible opportunity for you to gauge, just to gauge, not to necessarily take any actions, but to see what's necessary, what's needed, who do you need to become, and to do some journaling about it, to do some meditation about it, to do some deep contemplative work about what are you being asked to let go of and what's being asked to come. Now, you don't want to start taking a lot of actions now because we're moving into winter, and winter means rest, right? But what you can begin to do is start gauging, what are the things that need my attention? You just start gauging. You don't even have to make a plan. What needs my attention? What is the universe asking me to be more responsible for? Yes, Capricorn season is not fucking with us, y'all. And this is the first Capricorn season that we have had in 17 years without Pluto in it. So this is a really powerful time to come into your own authority. And what I'm saying is, because the work is really internal and it's not external, this is about what do you need to do? What thoughts do you need to? What behaviors? What relationships? What patterns? I asked a friend of mine to come over. A friend of mine offered to come over and help me clean my house. And never would I do anything like that. Never would I let somebody come clean up my house. But I've not had a lot of extra money lately to hire a house cleaner. And the house cleaner that I had for years since my son was born, I think she stole something. Or let me just say this. I don't know if she stole it, but I know that I had something that was really significant to me that I can't find. And I was just like, okay. And I asked her about it, and she sent me a text about it, and I saw the text, but then the text was deleted. And so I remember seeing the text and not having a chance to read it when I saw it, knowing that I would come back to it, and then the text was deleted. So it was just time for me to let her go. I didn't have the money to pay her anyway, and my own housekeeping on my own is not what I like, is what I'll say. I don't like it. It doesn't feel best for me. So I've just been sort of making do. I've just been like, okay, I've just been saying things like, well, sweep the floor, which I do, wash the dishes, which I do, clean out your tub, and clean out your toilet. Those are the things that I do. So those things get done. But the thing that I don't do is I don't put shit back. So I have things that don't go back in cabinets and that is like, so I need sort of help, like creating more organization. Isn't that weird? Like, I'm a 6th house Virgo with a ton of planets, but and Virgos are the organizers of the zodiac. I can organize your inner world, but I cannot organize your outer world. That's not my gift. My gifts are the inside, not the outside. And so a friend of mine offered to come and help me clean. And I was like, yes. So I'm excited about that. And that's me doing a new thing. That's me being vulnerable, me allowing somebody into my experience but guess what? They are a Virgo. So because they're a Virgo, I know they're going to come and clean it up so good. They're going to help me. They're going to point it. You know what I mean? They're going to really know how to do it. And, you know, it would take a Virgo to offer that. Like, what just made me so happy is like a Virgo offering to help me clean is so powerful. Mine is very challenged, clean but junky. And are you a hoarder, Ms. Z? Are you buying a lot of stuff? I know you sent me all those beautiful scarves. You sent me like 5 scarves. So if you're doing that for somebody that you know from online, I can't imagine what you're doing over there. But Capricorn is very driven by achievement and things. So, you know, it's about balance and understanding your energies. And one of the things that I did when I realized that I'm sorry, you guys, I'm trying to give myself some more tea. When I realized that I was collecting too many things, something in my system was off. Something in my energy system was off. And things are about Venus, right? Venus and beauty and feeling good and food and music. So you get to look at like what is out of alignment inside of your Venus energy. And if you start doing some work on it, you can bring balance in that area. You don't have to be subject to being a hoarder. You can find some balance in it. The Virgo I just had to get rid of was everything when it came to keeping this place. She had to get rid of everything. The goat keeps climbing. No mountain is too high. That is right. I'm so excited for Capricorn season, especially since Pluto is not there. And it's been there for 17 years. So we're about to have a whole new experience in our authority. So I think I've covered the nodes. Enough. If you have any questions about what I just shared about the nodes being in Virgo and Pisces, please ask. And I encourage you to come do coaching sessions with me so that we can have this conversation privately about your chart, because it's different for everyone. It's not the same. I'm giving you the general information, and the general information is helpful. If you follow the general information, you can make some changes in your life. But if you want to go deeper, book a coaching session and make it specific information, because the specific information is how you really access your power and your magic. Because, you know, what I've seen in my own specific understanding for myself is that this North Node in Aries, everybody's having it, but I have it in the first house. And my Aries and Libra are like in conflict. So it's a place where I really easily give up power. And I am very prone to being on other people's patterns. I'm very prone to going along to get along. You know, like a friend of mine texted me today wanting to get together, and I had to realize, like, I have things to do. Like, I'm going to be going to the farmer's market. I need to go get my clothes washed. And they were like, I can do that with you tomorrow. No, the farmer's market is on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? So, but my mind is very wiggly, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm easily like, okay, well, we'll do that. But I have to be founded in my own convictions, to my own timing, my own clock, so that I don't get off of my rhythm for others. And because let me tell y'all, I'm up to some fucking amazing shit. And if I don't stay true to my pattern, to what's true for me, it'll get eaten away by everybody that I just say yes to, because I am easily a yes person. I'm learning to be a no woman. Like, nope, I can't do that. No, I'm not. I'm learning to give my energy in the ways that I actually have it to give, and not just because people are asking and people want. And I, because let me tell you, I'm social. I have a Gemini moon and a Mercury and Venus in Libra in the 7th house. I like people. I like to hang out. It's enjoyable for me, but my stuff doesn't get done. So I have to be very, very boundaried with my energy for me, not because of others, for me. Yes, you've got to enforce your own pattern. What a great way to say that, abstract moon child, especially when you're a moon energy, because you're this way, that way, and this way and that way. So enforcing your own pattern. So now we are still in the final days of Mercury retrograde. It ends on January 2nd. And it ends, this music is beautiful. So we're about to start a new moon cycle. I'm giving you guys so much information today. I just feel like talking. I just feel like talking. And now that I've decided that I really want to do my work without a paywall, like people who come to work with me privately will pay to work with me. But I'm going to give up so much information online because I love this stuff and it's valuable information. And I don't want to hold it behind a paywall because it doesn't allow me to experience my gift, but it also doesn't allow you all to understand that there's a new way emerging. And the more of us that have this information about how to work from the inside out, the more the planet is going to change. The more humans are going to change. The more of us that take it on, and we have to make it common. So my big desire is for us to be in public space together, like church, talking about the astrology and how it's personal and how it's showing up in our lives and the rituals and the practices and music and dance and food and really embodying these energies. If you can imagine, it's Capricorn season. We come together and we fucking honor Saturn from the inside of us. We honor our own structures and we help each other reinforce our own systems so that we don't feel crazy, so that we know that what we're doing is alive, is powerful, is activating. And when we do it together, it grows faster, y'all. It grows faster when we do it together. So I can't hold it anymore. Like I can't just be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I have to be like, I have to just throw the seeds out, because if we don't do it, it won't happen. And there's so much misinformation and ignorance about this stuff. And I've been in this interesting online conversation about, I was on a post and this woman, people practice all sorts of crafts and I think that's powerful. And this woman was saying, if somebody's done something to you, get them back. And I was like, or you could just, be like, okay, they got me and keep on going. You know what I mean? Like, because we're living at a time right now where that tit for tat energy is not going to work any longer. We're living at a time where the old systems of competition are collapsing, so it's very important that we begin to understand the unified field of oneness and function from that. Nobody's doing anything to you that you have not allowed them to do in some way. Nobody is harming you. They're showing you a reflection of the harm you're bringing to yourself. So, it's important for us to understand that this reality is morphing into something else. We can no longer continue to behave in the ways that we have because more light is coming in. So your ignorance is going to be costly. She said, you have been talking about this for so long and it's happening and thank you. Let me tell y'all, I be inside of myself. I be like, never say, like I tell myself, I can never say I have been saying this. I never want to, I can't use the words, I've been telling y'all this, because that for me feels like arrogance. It feels like arrogance for me to say that, because I know that I'm reading the codes and people don't understand. So I have to be humble. And humility, I have Jupiter and Pluto conjunct my sun. So humility is not easy for me, okay? It is not easy for me not to be calling people motherfuckers and idiot. It's not. Like I have to really come into myself with deep compassion to know that I've been saying this stuff for years and people have been doing what they've been doing. And thank you, because I'm not going to be able to say it again. Organized chaos. I can only say it because you said it. So thank you. Thank you. And I'm very grateful. So here we go. Now we still are in Mercury retrograde. Mercury is going to be Mercury has been at the 9th degree of Sagittarius, which is a Sagittarius degree, which means that yesterday and part of today is about us anchoring into faith, that we must have faith. Faith is understanding how this reality works. That's how it shows for me. So there is an astral plane. There is an invisible plane where everything is held like a bank. And when we understand that we have to do certain rituals and practices to access what is stored up for us, like the Bible says, Christ says, there are many mansions and I shall go and prepare one for you. Having the faith to access the mansion and consciousness that is yours and bring it into the 3D reality. That is what we are starting. When this South Node goes into Virgo, we're starting a new 19-year cycle of this ability to bring heaven into the earth realm. And you have to clean up your own trauma. You have to clean up your trauma, clean up your stuff, your disappointment, your fears. You have to clean it up because otherwise you'll be manifesting that. So you want to do the work to heal yourself, to forgive yourself, to free yourself, the South Node in Virgo, so that you will begin to bring into the 3D realm, the manifestation, the manifested world, what you are meant to bring into this world. With Mercury in retrograde, having faith in your capacity to heal, having faith. And for me, you have to witness it. Like I witnessed the things coming alive. Like, oh, I wanted to work on healing my relationship with the masculine. I witnessed the universe work on my behalf to do that. I've seen things come and go that were a part of my psyche that weren't serving me any longer. You know, just in the last year, I was aware that I had a family pattern because I grew up in a family where there was, you know, I've heard you guys heard me talk about my daddy was a pimp. My mother was a prostitute. You know what I mean? They was fucking everywhere and using cocaine and alcohol. Like I grew up in that. That's what I saw on a regular basis. And so as growing up in that created space in me for a lot of nonsensical behaviors, created a welcoming, like I was a welcoming mat for liars, hustlers, cheats, pimps. I was a like, oh, you know, like they said, there's a story with Jesus where they're like, Jesus would sit with the whores and pimps. And I'm her. I'm not the whore. I'm Jesus sitting with all the criminals. And I love that I have that. I love that I have the capacity for that. But I also had to understand where my boundaries are. So if I'm hanging out with people who are dishonest, I have to understand that I have to know where that lives in me. I have to know where that lives in me. I cannot extract myself from it. I have to love it in me so that I'm not subject to it in another. Like you can't free yourself from the human experience. I have to love the part of me that is a thief so that I'm not subject to people who steal. I have to love the part of me who is a whore so that I'm not subject to, being prostituted. You understand what I'm saying? Like we got to understand how this reality works. And so when I started to realize that I had a lot of openings in my field for bad behavior because I was judging the behavior. That's wrong. What they doing? Inside of myself, right? I'm not making that face. But inside of myself, I'm like, judging people who drink, judging people, right? And I had to whatever you judge, you own. Whatever you judge, that's why the Bible says, judge not so that you shall not be judged. That's what it means. Whatever you judge, you own. So I had to close up all those holes of judgment so that I can now sit with everyone knowing that it's just what it is. It's all an experience. It's all divine. It's all love. It's all light. And we're all doing our best, right? So this is what I've had to do for me because I work as a healer. So I can't, and a healer is somebody who heals themselves and then creates the environment for others to heal themselves. A healer heals themselves so that others in your space can heal themselves. I create the field of healing so that others can step into it and access it for themselves. But I can't be in judgment of people. I can't be looking at people like they're, why would they do that? And I mean on every level, you know, people who have sexual stuff, people who, all of it, because all of it is a function of the dark ages that must be transmuted now. And you can't access your power without the shadow. So we have to all be willing to look at our own shadows, and the people in your life who you're like, that nigga's this and they bullshit, they're your reflections. And if you can accept the reflection and love yourself, then you can heal it and have the power from it. All right, so Mercury Retrograde is about having faith in yourself. Today it's going to move into the 10th degree, which is the degree ruled by Capricorn. Yep, it's moving to a Capricorn degree today. And the sun is now in Capricorn, and we're having a new moon in Capricorn. Because today is the new, so in a week we're going to have a new moon in Capricorn. So we're jump starting a new cycle so fast, right? Like there's a new cycle starting. So today you want to begin thinking about, like I said, where are the what structures need to come up in your life? What do you need to reorganize? I know for me, I need to really create a new yes, Z, we know you're a Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn does rock though. So I know that I need to start a new exercise routine. I used to be somebody who ran marathons and did a whole lot of hardcore exercise, but now I need to start a new practice of like mobility and moving my body and getting my joints. You know, as I increase in time on the earth, I need to stay flexible. So I need a new routine that isn't like what I used to do, like the gym. I need something that's more about flexibility and mobility and strength and stretching. And so I'm going to start thinking about that and writing down some notes and maybe doing a little research. I won't really start it now because now is not the time to start. It's time to rest now. But I'm going to start gauging. Where do I want to be by the time spring comes? I want to be ready, right? I'm going to start gauging. So, and then also, like I said, my friend is going to come and help me clean. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do some wall washing. Pilates is great, right? Pilates also is an investment. Pilates is like $40. I haven't done Pilates in a while because it's the investment. But it's the best. But back to, so I'm planning. Somebody's gonna come and help me do some spring cleaning. We're gonna clean some walls. We're gonna clean some floors, some basins. I'm planning. I'm creating a plan. How do I want this to be when it's time? Most of us try to get really busy in winter, but it's not time yet. That's why we start something in January, at New Year's, and then by March it's done with because it's not time yet. You don't start anything now. You just begin to gauge and rest and contemplate and go inside of yourself and love yourself. And you will discover what really requires your attention. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. I just love to talk. When I was in school, when I was a little girl in school, they used to send me with notes home. Monique talks too much. She talks during class. She talks when the teacher's talking. I have a Gemini moon and I like to talk. So it's my pleasure to do this. And thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for donation. Like, thank you. Just thank you. I feel really honored that what I do is valuable to whomever it's valuable for. I really appreciate it. All right, you all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.